Hey everybody, I decided to do this video because Hullbreaker is becoming pretty popular in the meta right now, and I figured we'd do a video discussing it. A lot of people are coming up with the question, why is Hullbreaker good? Why is everyone building it? Why is it being rushed? What's happening? I'm scared. Change terrifies me. So we're going to make this video on Hullbreaker. Why is it good? Why is it being rushed? As always, you can use these videos as a podcast, or you can follow along visually. I always make sure that you guys can listen to this podcast, because I know a lot of you guys enjoy watching these videos on your second monitor. Well, listening to these videos on your second monitor while you do stuff, and so I always make sure to try to support that. But for those of you who want to watch this video, you can do that as well. And as always, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to leave a comment down below. We read all the comments. Well, I read all the comments. And I like it when you guys give me feedback, stuff like that. It helps. It also helps this channel out immensely, and I appreciate it in advance. So, Hullbreaker. In order to start talking about this item, I think the best thing to do is to talk just what this item does. You know, it's a base. What is this item? It gives 50 damage, 400 health, and 150% health regen. Now, that health regen is better than people make it out to be. Now, I know I'm set, so I get health regen for my passive, but you can see here, this health regen is a little bit better, and I'm only level 2 here, so it's a little bit better than people notice. So particularly on the rush, that's pretty good. And I want to mention that health regen as a get-go, because it's one of those hidden things. Okay, why is it being rushed? Why are people building? It's a hidden strength. Remember when Gore Drinker, this is Gore Drinker, and these are his patch notes, it used to give 150% health regen, and it was a rush item. I noticed, and I talked about, that it was actually pretty strong that it gave health regen, particularly on a rush item. Hullbreaker, one of its strengths right here is that it is a mere 2,800 gold. So you get this item 500 gold cheaper than you ever got Gore Drinker, and it gives the same health regen that Gore Drinker ever did. So I just want to go over that real quick, because a lot of people downplay the health regen. Now let's talk about its other effect, Boarding Party. When no ally champions are nearby, you gain armor, you get magic resist, and you do 20% increased damage to turrets, up to then 120% damage to turrets. Nearby large minions gain armor and magic resist, that would be cannon minions and super minions, and they do 200% increased damage to turrets, so 300% damage in total. A lot of people think it's 200% as in they double damage. No, you're tripling the damage from your large minions, okay? So if an allied champion is nearby, I'll just spawn an allied dummy here. It turns off slowly. Now the slow turn off, I want to go over that real quick. That's something that people should acknowledge as well, because while the range might be massive, if I walk out of range here, let me just walk out of range here. You get the armor and magic resist instantly, but when you walk into range of an ally, you lose that armor and magic resist over 3 seconds. So it's not an amazing teamfight item, but it's better than people give it credit. Okay, so the health regen is good. The gold cost is good. And in addition to that, it's just good at killing turrets. Top lane has recently, due to the nerf to teleport, due to the nerf to their items, seen a rash of they're not really that useful. Top lane isn't really that useful. And this item has been seen in a way to make top lane far more relevant. If your champion is good early game, if they can bully an opponent, this item kind of magnifies that bullying. And we can see here, the increased armor and magic resist to my cannon minion is making it tank a lot of shots, and it made it, I guess it doesn't track cannon damage to turrets, but it made it deal a lot of damage to this turret. If I'm a champion like Set or Graves or potentially even Aatrox, who can beat a champion in the early game, Hullbreaker can magnify me beating them in the early game and make it mean a lot more, because I'm going to get these plates and I'm going to push this split push. I'm going to take these turrets. We see it on Kennen, we see it on champions like that. So this item, because it gives armor and magic resist when no ally champions are nearby, it makes you stronger in the 1v1, it makes you stronger in the 1v2, right? Now, the second reason that this is kind of getting popular is it's sort of a prisoner's dilemma. If I go Hullbreaker and you don't go Hullbreaker, then I win. I mean, not every champion will beat every champion if they don't have Hullbreaker, right? But, or sorry, if they do have Hullbreaker, but if I have Hullbreaker and you don't, it gives me a much larger chance to win. Now, in the past, you would probably go a Mythic into Steric's Gauge. Now, Steric's Gauge gave 400 health, 50 damage. Hullbreaker gave 400 health, 50 damage. Steric's gauge has been nerfed. It doesn't give that damage until later in the game, and its shield got absolutely butchered with nerfs. Hullbreaker didn't get any nerfs. So these two items, and don't think it was a coincidence, these two items which competed for a slot in your inventory, one was better at team fighting, one was better at split pushing, well, now the one for split pushing is significantly better by process of not being nerfed with the bruiser nerf, okay? The second thing is that this item, there's a tendency sometimes, not all the time, there's a tendency sometimes when something gets released a little bit underpowered, and then it gets buffed, and then it gets buffed, even if it's balanced after these two buffs, which I think these two buffs did leave it in a balanced state, it takes a while to catch on, because neither of these buffs look extremely substantial. Oh, the armor and magic resist later in the game got buffed. Oh, the health got buffed by 100. None of these look substantial, so nobody takes a huge notice of them, but they'll slowly sort of drip feed into the meta as more and more people do it. Now, at the high ranks, this has become a popular strategy. I would never clickbait you guys with Hullbreaker. I built it and I've played against it, and you guys have been seeing from my streams recently, it's not just me. I'm not just bullshitting you guys and be like, oh yeah, this is definitely a viable tactic. I've fought a lot of people rushing Hullbreaker, so it's not just me, it's a lot of people. Who in particular? Well, we can see here at Masters Plus that Set has a 29% build rate on Hullbreaker. We can see, not you Aatrox, we can see Graves has a 80% pick rate on Hullbreaker Rush, and that's just Rush. That's not even including second item, that's just a Rush. Aatrox himself is up to a 10% Rush on Hullbreaker. So lots of different champions with strong early games are starting to rush this item. In fact, I think if we go to Tryndamere, even Tryndamere is up to a 25% rush on Hullbreaker. So this is an item that a lot of people are building. And they're building it because his health regen is good for the early game. The turret pushing is really good for the early game. If you can bully your opponent, you can make a lot of money on this item, and that's, I would say that's actually a pretty good description of Hullbreaker and what it's doing and why people are building it. And it doesn't really need to be that complicated. I have a headache, and I wasn't originally gonna make this video, but I decided you guys do like these videos, so I'd just make a quick run on Hullbreaker. So I think I've pretty much gone over everything that's good on Hullbreaker. Steric's got nerfed. It's good in the early game. It got buffed and people didn't notice for a while, and now in particular, it's just good. I wouldn't say it's overpowered, but I would say it's just good. That's what's happening. It's just a good, solid item. So, one last thing. I'm gonna go over this because this is kind of annoying me. You don't get the 60 armor and magic resist at level 1. You get that at level 18. Level 1 to 9, you're capped at 20. It's only level 10 that the armor and magic resist you get starts to go up. So you can't just, when you rush this item, you're getting 400 health, 20 armor and magic resist in the 1v1 or 1v2. You're not getting 60 armor and magic resist. This item isn't tankier than Sunfire, okay? I just want to say that because it's actually kind of annoying when people deceive or lie like that. If you're rushing this item, there's literally a Riot defense against rushing it by ensuring that until level 10 you can't go beyond the 20 armor and magic resist, okay? So don't lie. If you're a YouTuber, don't lie and try to make those items seem crazy. It's good. It's a good item, and rushing it is definitely allowing top laners to be more relevant, but it's not overpowered. It can be a bit frustrating to fight, but it's not unbeatable. It's not taking over the meta. It's just becoming a more viable option. That's what I think it is. This is starting to become a lot more viable option on a lot of different champions, and I think people should acknowledge it, and they should talk about it more. Is your champion good with Hullbreaker? I don't know, but a lot more champions are building it, and that's basically gonna be this video. That's basically it. It doesn't need to really be that complicated. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all. Special thank you to all my Patreon supporters. I appreciate you. Thank you all for continuing to support me and this channel. You can see the link is in the description, and if you support me for as little as $3 a month, I would appreciate that a lot. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye bye, everybody.